So one of the things you're going to notice about the location behind me is that it's actually falling apart. And so many businesses wait to look at their cash and to start tracking their cash until the business is like this. It actually starts to fall apart. The key to managing your business cash wise is to not get to this state until you actually start looking at your cash, but to look at it regularly when things are great, when things are nice. Because if you're starting to look at your cash at that point, you will never get to the state ever. Hopefully, as you're watching this, you're not in this situation. So, one of the things you might be asking yourself is okay, I get it. I should not look at my cash when things are like this in my business. But how should I be looking at cash and how much cash do I really need to have in my bank account? And you're going to find a lot of advice out there. Some people are saying 2 to 3 months of your operating expenses. Well, 2 to 3 months of operating expenses is a guideline. It's only a guideline, and that might not be relevant to your business. It's a starting point, but there are a lot of other things that you need to think about when you're thinking about cash and when you think about your cash position in the business. So here are the things that you should be thinking about when you're thinking about how much cash does your business really need to have. The first question is obviously, what are you using this cash for? What do you need to use the cash for? Are you expanding? Are you growing? Are you hiring new employees? Because when you're doing that, when you're in a phase of growth, you're gonna obviously need a lot more cash. The expansion needs more than maintaining of your business. Overabundance of cash in your bank account, it can be a problem too, for two reasons. One reason is because you have this resource, this big resource in your bank account not doing anything for you, and you're not growing, you're not using it for anything. It's just there, it's just sitting there and becomes lazy. I call this the case of a lazy cash. When it's not doing anything for you, it just sits there, it looks pretty, but that's just about it. That's a problem. But the other problem is, and I think this is more psychological when it comes to business owners, when you see this big chunk of cash in your bank account, you start to become complacent. You start to look at your business and start to make decisions that might not be in the best interest of the business because you have this cushion, this bank account that is full of cash. So you're not analyzing your costs, you're not analyzing your resources, you're not analyzing your business enough to see what you're doing. Does it make sense for the future? And are you really using the resources well? So you might get into a case when you might overspend on certain things and not really blink an eye because we have so much cash in the bank, it doesn't matter. So that is a problem. You always want to look at your business, whether things are doing well or the things are not doing well. You have resources. How do you use these resources in the best capacity, in the best way possible, so that it gives you the benefit in the business now and in the future? And if you're interested in the history of this castle, stick around because in the next couple of seconds, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. This is another episode of Newcastle Finance Financial Tidbits from Old Castles. This video was filmed in Viltus Castle in Slovenia. Viltus is a castle straight out of storybook, one of Slovenia's largest. It was originally built in the 19th century on the edge of a picturesque forest. Back then, Viltus was everything opulent and beautiful inside, and surrounded by lush gardens with exotic plants. Today, sadly, it is an abandoned shell close to the public and slowly falling into ruin. Over the last 30 years, Viltus has been picked apart by vandals and looters and left unprotected from the elements. But despite the decay, it is still beautiful, with many calling for its rehabilitation and repair. That's it if many residents' ghosts will allow it. According to a local legend, Viltus is now completely overrun by ghosts and ghouls. Here's hoping that they allow the repairs, because even ghosts deserve a spectacular castle makeover.